Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another declutter video for my single eyeshadow collection. As you can see here, I have everything open up, and what we're gonna do today is swatch and look at all of my Colourpop Cosmetics singles that are in here and decide what to keep and what to get rid of. I think that's exciting. And I have everything open because I want to be able to swatch and compare things that I own with other shadows that I have in my Colourpop collection. I have here a palette that contains some other eyeshadows that came from my previous eyeshadow declutter. If you haven't seen that already, I will link it up in the cards and please take a look. This is my maybe pile, and I will be adding to it for eyeshadows that I'm not sure if I want to keep or I want to get rid of. Anything I do get rid of will be in my Instagram stories and available for purchase. I might put up some stuff on my blog as well for a blog sale in a way that is a little bit more searchable and easy to see. But if you see anything that you're interested in, just shoot me a DM on my Instagram or anywhere other social media, and we can discuss what is possible. Let's get started. I'll move these to the side. And I am going to start with this palette. As you can see, this is a nice holographic one, and this one contains my favorite shimmers. And these are so beautiful and full of textures. So I'm going to start by selecting some that I'm definitely not gonna touch and some that I'm not sure about to compare to others. I'm adding here a shadow that doesn't fit. This is Baby Lights. It was also part of this palette previously before I added a few things in. But let's take a look. These first top three eyeshadows are all very light and champagne-y shades, and they all have different undertones, and I always compare my shimmers to the Makeup Geek foils. This is Nostalgic, which is one that fell and died. So I only have a very little bit left, and this is very similar to this pink one. I feel like the Colourpop ones have a little bit more glitter in them and a little bit more texture. This one does not look like the top one at all. This one is Grandstand and also not. And finally, my last peachy one is this one right here. So these actually look quite different, and I think I could keep them all. The thing is, I also like this formula. They are quite glittery and effective, and you can see that the finish is different from the foiled in the Makeup Geek formula. Then we move on to the next three shades, which are more brown and gold. Also beautiful. They are also gorgeous. This middle one doesn't swatch great. Which one is this one? This is Board Shorts. I've used them all very pleasantly. They are beautiful, all of them. And I know that these shades may be similar to other things I have, but I really, really enjoy them. I don't expect to get rid of a lot in this palette because they are all favorites, and that's why they are in this palette. Here we have Tea Garden, Carrot Cake, and then this duochrome, which is the big three. Tea Garden is one of my favorite shades ever. You can see this beautiful green shift to it. Then Carrot Cake is a nice yellow gold, and then big three is this teal blue shift. And it has a transparent base. This is a little bit different than other things I have, so all three are definitely gonna stay. I love them all. They all perform very well. Next three are more coppery, orangey tones. All absolutely beautiful again. I don't see how I could get rid of any of them, to be honest. Millie and Thank You next, and this one is Crackle. Just beautiful. Isn't Millie similar to this other one, Paper Crane? I think Millie was a limited edition and Paper Crane is part of the new collection. Oh yeah, they're very similar. And now which one of the two would you keep? Because if they are so similar, but one is limited edition and one isn't, it's very difficult to decide. Especially Thank You Next is so beautiful because it has this multi-chrome shift. I think among the two, Millie actually performs better. So I think Paper Crane might go. I'll put it down here for the moment. I'll insert here Baby Lights, which is this. It's a little bit of a duochrome gold. It has a bit of a darker base, but a very shiny shift to it. I will need to try it on my eyes a little bit more because I don't really know if I love it. The next row down, we're moving into more purpley tones, and this is Glass Bowl, and it's something that I would never ever get rid of. So beautiful. I think this one here is Misty, and then I don't know the name of this one. Oh no, Mr. Sandman is the second, and Moscow Sunrise is the third. I don't have anything that looks like these, so they're absolutely gorgeous and will definitely stay. The next three are even more purpley tones. 2 and 3. And I'll swatch directly also the next two purples just to have a bit of a comparison. All three absolutely beautiful, all five absolutely beautiful and quite unique. I will check if I have anything that looks like these. I actually do, and it's this one here from the Blink palette, but I feel like there is a difference in formula in these and slightly in color, maybe not. Maybe I'll get rid of the Blink. I know I love Pinky Promise and I use it a lot. I will get rid of this Blink one and put it, I guess, in this empty palette. That will be my declutter palette. Final four for this palette are blues and this silver. Oh goodness, my hands are a bit moist due to the swatching, but wow, look at these. How can I ever get rid of anything? I'm gonna check with the silver though, because I already looked in my previous declutter how I actually have another silver that I like, which is the Nabla Cosmetics silver. Here it is, but actually the Colourpop is so much more effective and metallic. So I will actually get rid of this Nabla Frozen eyeshadow. And I also want to take a look at the difference between these two shades. It's actually quite different because I don't have a lot of periwinkle blues, but this one here is much lighter, a bit more, I don't know, no, doesn't look anything like that. A little bit, I don't know, a lighter blue. So I'm gonna keep all of these. And I think from this palette we can move on. I have one space left in here. And moving on to my next palette, and this is actually not a very difficult one to do. This is my neutral mattes, and there's a few shimmers in here that didn't fit in the previous palette, and I haven't used these in a very, very long time. And the reason is they're very similar mattes to other things I have, so I'm gonna actually have to be careful and probably put in my maybe pile a lot of these to check what I want to keep and what is unique to my collection. But before I do that, I'm gonna look at the shimmers, because a lot of these I think can go. Yeah, these are just not, it's like satins, and I don't do satins. So this is Take It Slow. This one here is the Hidden Hills. I think it was a limited edition. Let's see this one. No, this one's not bad at all. This one is the shade Up and Atom. I want to check compared to the previous shimmers that I had, if there was something similar. Yeah, this one is quite similar. But this one is a little bit more orange, it seems like, but I don't think much. I will put this in my maybe pile to check. My hands are so shimmery right now. This one here is the shade Snake Eyes, I believe, yes. And it is a beautiful, quite unique, cool toned shade, and I will just add this to my previous palette. This one here is quite a unique shade as well. This is called West Star, and it's a dark, a little bit plummy shimmer, quite beautiful. It seems also quite unique into my collection. Let me see. Oh, I don't think this swatches very well. This is the shade Burlesque by Makeup Geek, and I either didn't pick up the right amount or it's gone bad. The shades are quite different, but I have to check Burlesque if it still works on the eye, so I'm gonna put it into my maybe pile. I do like West Star. And then in here I am literally left with neutral mattes, and I think that I will just use this palette in itself and test them out to see which ones are good and which ones are not. So to make sure that I do keep only things that I love. So this will be in the maybe pile down here. The next palette up is this one here with my yellows, oranges, and a few greens down here. I'm going to start swatching from the top. And I know I love this white with the gold shimmer. This one is, I think, Play by Play. It has a nice yellow base with a little bit of a green shimmer. This one here is Deja Vu, and it's the most miserable eyeshadow I know, so this one is definitely going. Next one up is a yellow. This is Tiki. This one is not as good as another yellow from Colourpop that I have. Let me find that one out. Yeah, this is the other yellow that they have, which is the newer one, which is called Take Flight, and it behaves much, much better. So I think Tiki will go. This next shade here, which I didn't swatch yet, is a dark gold. This is quite nice. Do I have anything similar in the other palette? These are quite nice. This, I think, is Two Birds. This is quite a nice eyeshadow, so I'm definitely gonna keep this one. I see that I pulled out my rainbow palette, and there's quite a bit of more eyeshadows in here than I expected that are not Colourpop. So this is, I think, Makeup Geek. This is Divina Cosmetics. So we're gonna go through those later as well, and here was a little bit to compare. There are a lot of very similar shades in Colourpop with these mid-toned peaches and corals, and I have one more palette here with some more of these corals up here. So these are all going to be very similar, and I'm going to have to swatch them to look at which one is the best to keep and which one is too much of a repetition. These to me look all very, very similar. They really do. I think this second one I swatched is just a little bit darker. This is Beach Blanket. The first one was Running Late, and the third one was Koi. And I think I don't know, they're kind of different. I don't know if you guys can see it at all. They're kind of different, yet very similar. You think it's gonna be better if I swatch them on my arm without dunking my nails in it? Here we are. They are definitely very similar, and I don't think I need all three of them. What do I have from Makeup Geek that looks the same? Chickadee and Early Bird. This is Chickadee and this is Early Bird. Yeah, these are very similar to both the first one and the last one and the second one. I don't think I need to keep any of these actually, because they're very similar to the ones I have from Makeup Geek. Oh, this is so difficult. I have this doubt because I know Makeup Geek is one of my favorite brands, but I also know they are rebranding and my eyeshadows are a bit older, whereas these are a bit newer. I will get rid of Running Late because it's very light and it's not going to look very good on me. And of Beach Blanket. I am going to keep Koi because it's one of the latest shadows I got. Then we have this shade here, which is called Chauffeur. This is also a bit newer to me. It's a tangerine orange, quite pretty and quite unique to my collection, so this is definitely staying. Then I have 3 orange mattes. 1, 2, and 3. I think the middle one doesn't really convince me so much. It's the shade Martian. It's a matte with a bit of shimmer in it. Very weird. And it is a middle point between the other two, but I think I can live without it. Moving on to a bit more pinky tones, terracotta pinks or so. These are definitely quite unique to my collection until I got the newer Lethal Cosmetics shadows, and they're quite nice. I don't think I need both of these two, which are Cutouts and Imperial. I think I like Imperial better, so I'll keep that and get rid of Cutouts. This shimmer right here is the shade BPM. Oh, and it's absolutely beautiful. Do I have anything similar in this other palette? This one here is Thank You Next, which has a shift. Definitely not similar. It doesn't look like it, so it's staying. And down here, I have these two lighter shimmers that look also very similar to each other. Oh, they're not really. One is a little bit more pink, one is a little bit more gold. This first one is Comeback Kid, and the second one is Over It. I think Over It is quite a nice duochrome pink to gold. It reminds me of Cosmopolitan by Makeup Geek, and they do look very, very similar indeed. I don't think I need both, but I think Cosmopolitan is actually quite a bit darker. I don't know what you can see in the video. I think I can get rid of Comeback Kid. It's not really speaking to my heart. And I think also Over It, because I already have the Makeup Geek one and it can probably go. Here I have a bright corally neon, which is called Slim Fit. And I've used it a lot. I know I love it. And I have a few more neons here, as you can see. Oh, this one swatches terribly. What is this? Oh yes. I discussed this shade when I was doing the comparisons between the Radioactive palette and my other neons. If you haven't seen that video, check in the cards. I will link it there. I will put O in my maybe pile because it is a little bit more shimmery, or not shimmery, it has a sheen to it. So I'm gonna put it in my maybe. Slim Fit stays, it's a great eyeshadow. And to this I wanted to also compare this other one, which is another red matte. That is called O Ship. And you can see here, they are quite similar, but I think this one is a little bit more pink and this is a little bit more red, tomato red. So I'm gonna keep both of those and maybe put them here. Nah, it looks a little bit repetitive actually. From this palette I still have these 3 greens, and I personally know that I don't love them that much actually. I almost never wear them, and I think I'm just gonna get rid of them. I don't really love these shades on me, so I never wear them. And my declutter palette is already full. Okay, I am done with this one. I'm gonna move on to this rainbow palette. This one here is the rainbow palette. I set myself together to prevent myself from buying the one that Colourpop was selling. And actually I realized there's a lot of eyeshadows that are not Colourpop. But this one is Makeup Geek Pink on Me, so I'm gonna put that one away. This one is from Divina Cosmetics, it's the shade Candy. This one here is Sure Thing from Makeup Geek. And let's see what else is not Colourpop. I'm not sure actually. this all looks like Colourpop. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like it. So I know this one here. Yeah, Pegasus from Makeup Geek. So we're gonna go through these, and I'm gonna put these away into my Makeup Geek palette first. Starting from the top, I have this pale pink. I think this is the only pale pink I have in my collection. So I have one more from Makeup Geek, which is the shade Sorbet, actually, I realized. But it's much lighter. I like this pale pink for transitioning pink shades, looks. So I'm gonna keep it. Then we have I Owe You, which is another of these lighter oranges, which I just had decluttered recently, but it looks completely different. So I'm gonna keep that one. I had told you already that Take Flight from Colourpop is a great yellow. I'm gonna keep that one. I am also going to keep the pressed glitter, so I'm not going to swatch them now. If you want to hear my review of these, I will link the video in the cards. I did a review of all of my pressed glitters from Colourpop. I'm going to take a look at this neon pink, but it's beautiful. And this one here is Meteorite, which is an orange. It's beautiful. I think I'm going to actually put them all back in here because I have a hard time visualizing what I have when they are away from their peers, let's put it that way. These are more pinky tones. And I have more pink tones in this other palette right here as well. So I'm gonna have to somehow make them all fit together. These two are Paper Tiger, which is a matte mustard, which is quite nice. I'm definitely keeping that one. And this shade here is Two Birds, which is a yellow. We just saw that we had a few yellows, so let me compare it with the other shades we took a look at today already. This one here is Carrot Cake, but it's much more cool toned, I would say. So I think I'm gonna keep both. Then we have this shade here, which is Rosé All Day. I was so happy when they brought this back. I thought it was going to be my answer to my green eyeshadow wishes, but I haven't really worn it much since I got it. I hope you can see it up here. It is a nice light green. I guess I'm gonna keep it and try to use it more. The next shade here I already talked about during my radioactive palette review. This is the shade Keep Scrolling, and this is terrible. It doesn't build up, it doesn't apply well on the eye. I really don't like it, so I'm gonna declutter this one. Very sad about that one. Then we have a beautiful fuchsia shimmer. I have nothing like this, definitely keeping it. It has some blue shimmer in it. A matte blue right here. This is the shade Backstage. It was recommended to me when I was looking for a new matte blue, and I want to compare it to the other one that I have up here, which is Suva Beauty Coast, which behaves horribly. It's really not a good eyeshadow. So I think that I'm just gonna get rid of this one because it just doesn't behave very well with me. Then we have a shimmery blue that is called Quantum Sleep, and I already know that this is beautiful. You can see it right there. And these two purples as well. This is 143, also a good purple. It's a bit more difficult to work with, but a very unique shade of almost neon purple. Very nice. And then this shimmer right here is Paradiso, also beautiful. I don't have space anymore. Right there. So those are definitely staying. And now for my last Colourpop palette, we go into this one, which has more the pinks, purples, and blues. And I'm gonna reshuffle this a little bit into this palette and a little bit into just a purple and blue, and I want to add these ones in there. Let's see how we go. Maybe I need to clean my hand first. Starting from the top, with the pinks, and these are also shades that I don't really have many of. This one here is very beautiful, and how does it compare to the first one we looked at today? Quite different. It's actually much more pink here. Then we have another pink right here, and this one doesn't perform as well, I feel. And this is the shade Sauvage. This is like a more, I don't know, a warmer pink with a shift of a cooler toned pink. It's quite a unique shade to my collection, but I never find myself using it, so I will declutter that. Then this is a bit more of an orange shade. This is Heavy Glam. This one does not transfer to my eyelid at all, so it can go. It's an orangey coral. I'm sad because it's quite unique to my collection. Then we have The News, which is a nice matte transition shade. It reminds me a little bit of Tuscan Sun, maybe. It's a little bit warmer than Tuscan Sun by Makeup Geek. I don't know if you can see a difference at all in there. I like it though because it is a little bit warmer than Tuscan Sun. I think I'm gonna keep it for now. And how is it different from this one though? Wait for It that we swatched earlier. Oh yeah, Wait for It is much lighter and more orange. But this I think would live well in between here, shade wise. Then we have another matte coral. This is Flower Boy. It's a bit of more pinky toned than the other shades. And I really like this one. So it's definitely staying. And the next shade is Making Moves. Also one of my favorites. And also slightly different corally pink matte shade. I also love this one. It might live here as well. It kind of fits into more of the corals right here. Let me see if I can put this one somewhere. And keep this one with more of the pinks and put this one up here. Like this. Something like that. Continuing to the second row here. This is a lavender shimmer. Very pretty actually. It's called Prowlin. And how does this compare to my other lavender shimmers that I have from Makeup Geek, for example? Quite different as well. It is a little bit warmer, let's say. I don't know. I don't think I'll get any use out of this though, so I'm gonna get rid of it. Next up we have this row of berries and purples. These are all matte. These two are actually quite similar. One is Seize the Day and this other one is Fair Play. How do they differ exactly? I think I can get rid of Fair Play. I think the other one is enough. And I will add here these other purples from the previous palette, actually, because they fit perfectly. Then we have the shade Stay Golden. This I already know is one of my favorite mattes from Colourpop ever. Very nice, unique shade. Actually, probably similar to one of these Lethal Cosmetics shades that I have, new ones. Or maybe not. Maybe not actually. Even more reason to keep it. I think I'm going to put it here though in this other palette because it's not that purple somehow. I just remembered that in these neutral ones that I decided to keep to test, there's also a bunch of purples that maybe I should compare to those before I decide to keep or not some of them. These two are the darker plums that I have. This shade is called Going Steady. I use it a lot and very happily. And this one is Sleeper, one of the new ones. I actually want to test Sleeper because it doesn't swatch great. Going Steady, I know it doesn't swatch great but behaves amazing. So I'm going to put this actually in this palette right here to test out to make sure that it's nice. What do I have here? Tinseltown Matte. This is one of the newer mattes they brought out, and it's actually quite similar to Going Steady, isn't it? Tinseltown came from one of the palettes that were released for Christmas. I really like this shade, but it's actually quite similar to Going Steady, so I'm not sure. Maybe I should have them both to test. Which one of the two is better? It's a good question. My hands are so stained by swatching all of these very colorful mattes. I'm gonna swatch these next purples. The last purples, I guess. This is a bit of a blue, actually. I am definitely sure I want to keep this purple that's called Try Me. This one right here is called Fault Line, and I don't think it's something I want to keep, so it can go. And this shade right here is called Baseline, and Baseline, and it's a periwinkle shade. Now, I kept in my previous declutter a periwinkle shade because I thought I didn't have anything like it. Let me check it out. Again, right here, I tested it earlier. Different blue, definitely. And compared to something here, no, it doesn't look like anything I actually have, so it can stay. It's quite a unique color than in my collection. And then this one right here, it's a pretty purple. It's nothing revolutionary. It's called On the Rise. I'm gonna keep it just because I don't have anything like it. If I find anything like it, I might let it go. Next are more of the blue-green teals, so let's check them out. There's actually quite a few that look alike. These are the shimmers. All quite beautiful. They're quite different, these two. One is Slayfarer and the other one is Super Zoom. One is a little bit darker and one is a little bit lighter. I love these shades so much that I don't feel like I should get rid of any of them. I don't know, what should I do? Difficult to choose. A similar shade from Makeup Geek is maybe Autumn Breeze, but it's a bit more blue than the rest. I don't know, you guys, I can't get rid of these. They're too pretty. They're just too pretty. I can't. I should actually use them more, but I can't get rid of them right now. Then for the mattes, these three, let's do them like so. Why do I keep putting my fingers into everything? This one here is Checkmate. It's terrible. It's definitely going. I never use this shade. The next one is Muscle Beach, which is a teal. Also not very good. And now that I have the Radioactive palette by Melt, it can go for sure. And this one here is Conjure Up. We just discussed it's quite similar to Eden by Lethal Cosmetics, but I think I still want to keep this one, so it's gonna stay. Then we have two more blues. This is Backseat. Quite a boring blue, I think I can live without it. And this one here is Two Piece. Now, this one looks to me very similar to the new Quantum Sleep that I swatched earlier. So maybe I can compare them right here. They aren't that similar. They have two different tones. You might see it better on my finger than in the swatches. And then let me compare it to Makeup Geek Blew My Mind, which is also a beautiful blue. Yeah, so Backseat can definitely go. Blew My Mind wins this round, and Backseat can go. This one can stay here. I'm gonna add this shade in here. And you guys, I freed up a whole palette, it looks like. That seemed to be the last of it, so this palette actually lost quite a bit of shadows, and it's quite empty right now. We have this one here, which is almost full, with colorful shades. This one here I'm gonna test because there's a lot of browns. I have here Team Captain, which is a dark green. I don't love this shade, but I'm gonna try it out a bit more to test and together with these browns. And this one here is my beloved Special Effects one. I think I'm gonna take this shade and put it in here and put this brown in because it is much more likely that I will use such a palette compared to that shade right there. So this one here is my special effects, let's call it, palette. This one I will put here with my maybes and add these to try into my shop my stash. And I will now just add all of the shades I am getting rid of into this palette so that it's easier to take a look if someone is interested. And here we are. These are the Colourpop shadows that I'm gonna be decluttering. It's a full palette, so I'm actually quite happy. I got rid of 1/5 of my collection at least, actually more because this one is not full. So I'm quite happy with it. I hope you guys enjoyed this very, very long video. If you want to contact me about these shadows, let's chat. Reach out to me on Instagram and I will be happy to discuss things with you. And now I am finally ready to put my collection down and move on with my life with less eyeshadows. I hope you're enjoying these decluttering videos. Give them a thumbs up if you like them. Don't forget to subscribe to see what the next decluttering will be, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!